for them. Yeah, it's all over. It's all over for them. If we never did nothing, America is finished. If we never did nothing, the British, all their friends, is headed downhill. The stuff they did to our believers, our friends, and the Middle East, they're going to have to rebuild their whole lives. So they got it laid out for them. They can use all new technology, all stuff. They don't have to build them old bricks. You know what I mean? Like they got a chance. They got a chance to offer the world opportunity. Hey, world, would y'all help us? Y'all see what's going to happen, right? Look what they're doing in Afghanistan. They sit over there for 20 years after the Russians was there all the other time. And then they just pop up and leave and say, we ain't giving you no money, you're not having. You talking about brutal? This guy, look what he do to everybody. And this is mind-boggling. That means the Afghanis is getting to be winner. They're starving to death now, today, right now. It ain't nobody working, it ain't nothing nowhere. People are selling their children, selling all their furniture. They left them. They just left them. They said, well, the Taliban, you got to fit into their criterion. Well, the criterion then is murder, death, right? Look what they did to Gaddafi. They just destroyed Libya. They didn't destroy our whole area for the Zionists. But instead of it being a permanent destruction, they're going to revive it. This is the way we see it. They're going to revive and thrive under that. Yeah. And very soon, see, the way we see this, everybody sees it, but something is not, when it touched bottom, everybody going to say, man, that's cold. And it'll all be on them. It'll all be on them. Yeah. Okay. The Oakland story is the greatest story ever told. So, this drama, to dramatize, what's really happening is not an exaggeration. Like almost we can't exaggerate the misery that they didn't put on the Muslims. We can't exaggerate the misery right now in Yemen. We can't exaggerate the misery in Syria. We can't exaggerate the misery that they're going through in Lebanon. We can't exaggerate that. That is real. And what are the Muslims here doing? Right? Okay, they're scared to go over there, but speak out about it. That's where we're headed. All new institutions to speak out about it. This time, we're going all the way. Brother Tufail and I used to talk about this time. Is this the last go-round or is this second to the last go-round? In other words, what we're in at that time, is this the second to the last go-round or is like the period now? Would this period coming be the second to the last go-around or the last go-around? So however you view it, it has a lot to do with how you approach it. So we've came to the conclusion, this is the last go-around. This is the last go-around for our time. When they talk about the end of time, this is the end of our period, right? However you look at it, the weather, all of that, the tornadoes just blow all of folks, most white folks and Mexicans, but they blew them. They just spin them up and drop them. Hey, man, and they, you know, and they don't have nothing. Half of them don't have nothing else. The stuff happening to them, this little stuff happened to us. We're coming out of this now, but this is the worst because remember, we've been dealing with it. Okay, we're prepared to sleep under a bridge. That means we prepared for the government to just take everything, to put us on the scrub board, and all of that. That's what we were psychologically prepared for. And we said it and we meant it. Okay, that's in the movement. The people are getting this stuff, man, and they ain't did nothing. All them forest fires, paradises, just burn our town down. The people don't have no insurance, just burn the town down. They get a little bit of rain now, but you know, what was that? That water is so low, you can look around the rim of it and it's half empty. They won't have enough water to turn them turbines. And that Lake Mead used to just be just like forever. All of that water, and that water at the top, that means that it gets kind of small at the bottom. All that water at the top means that it's just zillions and zillions of gallons of water. And the people don't think nothing about it. They turn their hose on, spray all the water. Just, hey, bump that. Okay. Also, I know we sound a certain way, but you know, you have to romanticize what you're doing. And ain't nobody gonna look at what we're doing and romanticize about it. They gonna be scarified. You know, when they think about it, if they got the nerve just to think about the stuff that we deal with, they wouldn't be romanticizing nothing. They would be scared. Hey, romanticize anything that you're doing. So it's wonderful when you see it as wonderful. Hey, this is the greatest opportunity. I know I never thought about having an opportunity to do this type of thing. And with it being real, this actually real, people back then was just wanting a little bit of freedom, wanting to go buy a hamburger at a certain joint, maybe, you know, stay overnight at somebody's place, you know, if they let you. That was about it. Maybe even get an education. Maybe even get a job somewhere besides a maid or, you know, stuff like that. Psycho-spiritual warfare with some physical characteristics. Psycho-spiritual warfare. You got to remember now, everything we're using, they're not used to. Psychological guerrilla warfare. They said, oh, go ahead, nigga. We'll scare you to death for that. Okay, that didn't work. So now, see, we got boss man by his hurting parts. Psycho. He's not strong-minded, he's weak-minded. Everything he's doing, he's a weak-minded idiot. Nobody would do what he's doing. He's an idiot. The guy is lucky he can talk. And they have the 99% and the 1%. Imagine and it's getting worse, see, because the 1% is getting super duper money. And they increasing the giveaway so they won't go broke, but the giveaway is making them go broke. And increased inflation. I was just in the store the other day, and I said, it's all right with me. I mean, it ain't no big deal. But I used to go to Giant, and, a lot of the food I cook with that, Giant is probably used to be not halal, but it used to be kind of kosher. Giant has that type of, you can see that in it. So a lot of the food, the taste, it has a certain type of margarine. That margarine last year was $1. Four things, $1 a pound. Now it's 169. 169. I said, good God Almighty. And I just watched it go zoop. I mean, it's no big deal, you know. I mean, but suppose you have to pay for that stuff, you know. For, right, right. It's okay. Okay, now look. Uh, they forget Miss Marie Antoinette now. That nice looking lady, hair all blonde, had powder all on her face. And they cut her head off. That's what she told them. She said, the people of Paris have no bread. She said, let them eat cake. You know. Well, that's what they're doing. They said the people, right, it's their fault. It's the people's fault. Too big to fail. When them boys mess up everything, they just give them all the money they want. After you give them, after you people, hey man, once you get to hustling, like I tried it once, I'm not going to be much. When I started making a lot of money, what happened was I worked on my job and I got a chance to, you change shifts. So I was I got off I was on the night shift for a while. So that means I was home all day. So this is 66. So I had a nice apartment, 2-bedroom, wall-to-wall carpet. It was $110. I had a new Cadillac and everything. But I was still working on the job. Now, because, you're supposed to kind of make it look like you just don't want to be flaunting your little money. So I made a good living. Made a good hustle. But that week, when I was off, I made $1,500 that week because I was home I worked, whatever it was, I was home, was it all night or something? Or I worked at night and I was home all the day. Yeah, I mean, they'd be waking me up, but I was young and I made $1,500. I mean, selling like matchboxes, $5. You got to remember $1,500 in 1965. $100. Okay, people on the job made, if you brought home $100 a week, you made 5,200, 1,200. You made $5,200 for a year. And after they tax you, you're young. The people used to laugh at me. They said, man, of course, I didn't have to go to the Vietnam War, but I didn't have no dependents, no nothing. They said they'd throw a party, and I worked a lot of overtime. In fact, I'd work. Can you imagine that you get paid time and a half and double on Sunday? They used to. So shoot. And I was working in the penitentiary for nothing. And I come home, I'm 20 years old, man, I made enough money. People thought I was doing wrong just living. But anyway, $1,500 in 1 week. That's like 15,000 now, or more. It'd be more than 15,000. Because people now make more than 10 times what they made then. They make about 12 or 15 times as much. How much do people make per week now? Average salary. The average person, if they work downtown or so, work in a. They make $25 an hour. How much do they make a week? Do they get paid by the week?